Hello everyone, and welcome back. I know the only thing I have filmed the last couple days was the first night I went out in my new spot with my deer blind for muzzleloader hunting. That was 2 days ago, and yesterday I did not go out. I had other things to do, and this morning I was gonna go out. This one doesn't feel full. But then I poked my head out this morning at about 4:30 this morning, and it was like 10 degrees outside, and there was a breeze, and I said, I'm not doing this morning. I did go out yesterday afternoon, just out part way, because when I first set up there was tracks, and then we had just got snow, and then there was just one set of tracks, and then I went out just out far enough to see yesterday, and there was a lot of tracks. So the deer are using the area. I don't know. I had a camera out there, but the batteries went dead, and there was 3 does on it, no bucks. So we'll see. I do want to go out this afternoon, but I've got 3 of these heaters. This is my oldest one. I don't know where the newer one that's the same as this is probably in that front garage with all my ice fishing stuff. And I've got a small one that would be perfect, just a single burner. And I think that's on the shelf at the tent, so that's not going to help me at all. But, so I wanted to see, I usually run this one on a 20-pound cylinder. So I just put in 1 full and, I don't know, maybe a half full, 1 pound, and I'll see if this works. And I can bring this out in the stand for tonight and at least have a little bit of warmth, because looking at the weather here, and I know that, I think my last video, somebody was saying how I am obsessed with the weather, so I'm going to make sure I say the weather this time, just to keep everybody happy. Okay, so right now it's 14 degrees, and the wind is at 18 miles an hour. But, see, tonight it's going to get down to 9, tomorrow up to 12, then tomorrow night it's going to go to 9 below 0. This is Fahrenheit. Then we have 12, 9, 23, which is nice, and 6. We had a little bit of snow coming in that day, so it's going to be cloudy. That's why we're getting a little bit warmer. And then 12 minus 6, 12, 4. And then we're into next week where it's showing 20, 12, 25, 19, 26, 12, but then 2, 3, 4 inches of snow. So we'll see. This thing changes hourly, so you never know. If I remember right, this one doesn't start with the clicker. It makes a spark, but seems like I have to, this one here, I think you got to heat up the element so it thinks it's warm enough to start. I've had this thing a long time. Well, it seems to work just fine. Most of the heat would just go out the windows, but at least there'll be some heat there. Yesterday I was gone in the morning, that's why I didn't go out to the stand. And then my goal yesterday was, I talked about it. No, I think I talked about it in detail in the last video, and then I don't know if I deleted that. There's a whole bunch on the last video I just deleted out. It was like I was getting bored editing it, so I knew you guys would get bored watching it. But anyway, I had to heat tape the water for this winter so we don't have to let it run all winter long. I think I might have left that in there. So yesterday it took me hours, but I got everything torn apart, put on the new heat tape on the new little hose with the connector, and then I had to fill up both of the water troughs out there. So hopefully that's good. I'll keep my eye on it, because if it's going to be getting down to 10 below, we'll know if it's working or not pretty shortly. The ground is still not frozen because we got this snow yesterday in the morning. Then I had some stuff to do, and then I went to Melissa's work and I did some shoveling of the sidewalk and where her company vehicle is parked, and just for something to do. But when I shoveled underneath the snow, then it's still wet underneath. So you know that the ground is not frozen yet. So as the ground starts to freeze on these colder days, then we'll know if we have any water trouble. But I think I did a pretty good job with this. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble. And then I even put more insulation over that whole, the pipe that comes up out of the ground. So I think we're going to be good. Yeah, that's such a pain in the wintertime doing that. And this is still going to be a pain, but not as much of a pain as it was last year. And the water's not going to be spraying out the whole entire winter long, which causes the pump to go every, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. The pump has to come on, the water well pump, which isn't good for that, and they use up a lot of electricity. So hopefully that'll all be good. I'm going to go out and throw a few sticks of wood into the wood boiler. It used to run a full 24 hours, but now that it's getting colder, it only will do about 18 hours before I need to put more wood in. And I don't know if I talked about it in a video or not, but we had the Aquastat, which is this thing right here, and it attaches to the incoming water line from the wood boiler. So it comes in here, goes through the heat exchanger radiator thingy, comes out down here and goes back to the boiler. Well, anyway, when they put it in, they had it set on 140, which is what this one is set on, but this one is not being used right now. I don't have it set up on just a regular thermostat, which is something that I have to do eventually, but right now we just run it on that Bluetooth thingy and it works just fine. But anyway, the one in the house was at 140, so I went ahead and I turned it down because I was talking to the guy that I got chemicals for whenever I drain the boiler, maybe next year, and put new water in. You got to put in 2 gallons of chemical to keep it from corroding, and then I got the new seal for the door from him. Anyway, they set theirs at 120 because the problem that I have is it's set at 140 and the water outside, it heats up to 180 and the fire comes off. And right now I have an 8-degree differential, so it drops 8 degrees, and then the fan kicks on and blows air under that fire to start it up again, otherwise it smolders. So when the water goes to the house, say that runs down lower than 175, I haven't filled it up, and you would think, okay, it gets down to 140, then it tells my furnace inside, okay, we need heat, and it turns on the fuel oil. The fuel oil will kick in, otherwise the fuel oil never comes on. Well, what was happening is, even if the boiler got down to like 160, my furnace was kicking on. So I need to, I don't know why that is. There's only supposed to be like 1 degree differential per 100 feet of line. But for some reason that just didn't seem to work right. And the guy, like the guy said, I should have a heat probe on the actual line, like at the furnace, just so you can monitor it, but it's like that's getting complicated. It's just you put wood in, the fire burns, your house is warm, this building's warm, that building's warm, hot water is hot in the house. I like to keep it simpler than having to watch everything. So anyway, but they set theirs at 120. So I turned mine down to 120, and now I even went out there one time, and when I let it do a burn cycle down, and it was at like 154, I think it was, and the furnace in the house never came on. Another thing that happens in the wintertime is, and we'll see if it happens this year, and I've never understood it, I still don't understand it. The boiler is on, which, and it's running the heat, and then the furnace kicks on, the blower does, and blows the heat through the house, a forced air system. And then when the furnace would kick off, the fan, it would kick on the fuel oil for like 2 minutes and then it would shut off. And I don't understand that because it never should have done that. And it hasn't done it yet, but it seems to do that, if I remember right, when it gets super cold in the winter, like 20 below zero, 30 below zero. So we'll see if that happens or if this turning it down to 120 helped. I don't see how it could have helped, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, I went out and sat in the blind last night, which you just saw, and then today I had stuff to do this morning. Melissa and I went out for lunch. One of the things I had to do this morning is, last night we come in here and we got the milk sample from Mesa, so then I had to send that off to a lab in Wisconsin for them to do the testing. And today is Wednesday, it has to be there by Friday. I went to the post office, they couldn't get it there until Monday if I did some kind of priority, and if I did another priority it would be Saturday, but they don't take Saturday deliveries. So I had to then go to FedEx and they will get it there by Friday. And then it's cold today. Right now the feels like is 14 below zero Fahrenheit. That wind is cold. So then tonight I went out and sat again, and it was cold, even with that little heater going. I mean, my knees stayed warm, but everything is open, and that wind was right in my face. And but I did finally get to see some deer. Come on in out of the cold, Mesa. Get some food. And those first three that come up was a doe and 2 yearlings. And that wind was right in my face, but I'm so close to them. Where the stand should be for where I'm sitting, I should have that stand in the back of the pasture, right where I put the manure pile this spring that is now composted down. That, and if it was elevated, that would be perfect, because I mean, they're right on top of me. But anyway, so that mom she was looking at me, but she couldn't smell me. So they were there just a little while, you know, if they were just going through, and then they took off. And then later on, I'm sitting there, and it was getting close to time to leave, and then from where those deer, well, anyway, this one came from behind me and to the left, and it came up. There's a pretty heavy trail there that they've been using, and came around. But her, I wouldn't have known she was there, but she blew. She did not know where I was, but since that's the way the wind was going, she could smell me. I had that little heater going on and everything in there, and it was enough so I could peek around, and I couldn't see what it was at first. Get my gun up, and then she kind of moved quick and stopped, and I could see that it was a doe. So I saw some deer, but I did not see any antlers. I already went out and fed the calves and everything. But when we get those tests back, we'll know if she's pregnant. We'll know her SCC count. We'll know a whole bunch about her, if she has any diseases or anything like that. So that's important. The main thing was the pregnancy, but if you're going to send it in, you might as well get all those tests done so you know. And I think that takes a couple of weeks. They are supposed to email, text, and mail the results, so maybe it'd be a little quicker then. I'm excited to see that. I do believe that she is pregnant though. I don't know if you can hear me over that, but when a cow is pregnant, they carry the calf on the right side. So over here, she's much bigger than she is on the other side, which tells me I think that she's pregnant. I also went to the feed store and picked up, I think, 600 pounds of feed. It's still in the back there. I didn't want to do it. I knew I had to do it today or tomorrow. And tomorrow, actual air temperature is supposed to be around 12 or 14 below tonight, with the wind chills closer to 25 below. It's like, I don't want to do that tomorrow when I can do it today when it's a little bit warmer anyway. Go. You're not going to get sassy with me. You're right back out in that cold. .30 at night, 6 below zero right now. That's the coldest it's been this year. Time to fill this baby up. Well, I just got out to the deer blind the afternoon of the following day. I think it was 4 degrees when I left the house. That's the warmest it's been. It was 17 below this morning. And that wind chill is below zero, but we'll see what happens. Well, it's 6 o'clock, I'm right around 6, and I'm in here to do chores. Melissa's going to do the chickens, and I'll get everybody else. But I did see deer tonight. You saw that one short little clip, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get back. Holy crap, it's cold out there. I don't know what the temperature is. It was around zero before, but that wind is really got windy. So yeah, I saw 7 deer total, 7 does. First 4 came in, and then there was one more coming up behind. And I didn't get those on film because I saw them coming in, and I was like, there's 4 of them. I know there's going to be a buck in there somewhere. No antlers. And the wind was in my face and going this way, and they come from kind of over here. They knew something was up just because that blind sits there and it's so close, but they didn't know I was there. And come like this and stopped, and that one was looking at me forever. I had my gun right on her, and my arm was getting so sore. It was in the thingy, but I didn't have this glove on, so it's cold. And then I'm holding on to the forearm here. Anyway, they finally went back and went through the woods. And then I thought, okay, this is it then. About 10 minutes later, I saw another deer coming down. And I thought, this is going to be the buck. Come on, how many times have we seen this? First there's the does, then here comes that big old buck. Nope, another doe. And she didn't come all the way up. She came in and just followed where they went. And I mean, I could have shot her, but... And then another one came in from over here and came in part way, right at the end, right before I was going to leave. So, and that was another doe. So yeah, it's like though now that it's winter, they're starting to herd up. It seems like they're getting to be bigger groups. So you never know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I think it'll be too cold. I seem to see them here at night, not in the morning. Even when we were looking on the cameras, it was always at night. So if it's super cold in the morning, it's supposed to warm up to 23 tomorrow though. I won't go out, especially if it's windy. This morning was so cold, at 17 below zero, and the wind was up, so the wind chill was so cold I didn't even go out. So we'll see how it is tomorrow. I gotta get me some milk out here. I fed the calves, went over and fed the chickens. Melissa's actually gonna go over and do the chicken water and get the eggs and stuff, but it was just easier for me to run over there and give them feed since I had the buckets right here. Well, where is she? Mesa, come on, let's go. Let's get some food. Come on. Normally when I turn that light on, she shows up, but it is cold though. She likes to kind of hang out in that shelter. I gotta get her a new hay bale, probably tomorrow. Oh, she's coming running. Come on in. That's a good girl. Don't you be snooty tonight like you were last night either. Oh, that's a good girl. Well, at least you didn't lay in any cow pies. See how her stomach looks on the left here? See how it looks on the right? That's what I was trying to show. I think it was in this video last night, I think. Go. Let's go. Good girl. Come on. Get out of there. Come on. Get going. That's a good girl. See the little rabbit? We throw feed out every night, and the rabbits come here, and there'll be sometimes 3 or 4 of them eating. Well, it warmed up overnight. It's like 13 degrees out there right now. And that wind died down. But this morning I woke up and it was a few minutes before 4 o'clock in the morning. And I look out and something just isn't right with the boiler. It's like there was smoke coming out from like down a section of pipe or something. And then I saw a couple of little sparks come out, which shouldn't be happening. So I get my heavier clothes on and I go out there and take a look. I put my headlamp on, and the water's up to 203. It's supposed to shut off at 180. Once in a while, when it shuts off, it'll jump up to like 181. And then it's like something's wrong. So, and that means that the fire is getting air when it shuts off. So, and of course it's dark out. So anyway, I just turned the differential so that it would be, instead of being 8 degrees, which I have it set right now, so off at 180, 8 degrees down, then it comes back on again, and turned it to 30. And then I come in here and plugged in the furnace so it was just direct blow in the air to get the heat out of the water. And then I just waited, and it came down and everything. I mean, I could hear the water starting to bubble in there, I mean, there was some weird noises when it gets that warm. And then, right when it was starting to get light, I went out there, and what happened was the fan on the back. This happened 2 years ago when I had my hernia surgery, and I didn't go check it for the longest time, and Brandon was filling it, and anyway, when you turn it on, it goes clink, and there's a plate that goes over the fan intake, and there's a pin that holds that because it can float. And I don't know why I didn't see it in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock in the morning, but when I went out there at like 6:45, I could see better, and that pin had broke, and it broke one other time when I had my surgery that year, and it screwed the hole inside me. It really got a lot of creosote in there, and it wasn't burning right. So anyway, I put a new cotter pin in there, and then cleaned out the top, which wasn't bad, cleaned out the ash, which wasn't bad at all. I just did that a couple days ago, and then fired it back up, and now it seems to be working fine. But it had me worried for a minute there. It's like, what could this be? And now I got this feed the other day, so I just got it all unloaded and put in here, and got the tractor started. I thought that would be hard to start, and it only took a few times, and it's popped off. And I've got my truck running because I haven't had that going for a while, so I can move that a little bit. But I need to get a new bale in for Mesa, and I'm going to see if I can put those bale time things in and move the whole bale ring and put it up into this front part. It's just easier for me to get at if we get a lot of snow. It's just a short run in, just straight in, dump the bale, and then go. And she has less far to walk from shelter to get her hay and then back into shelter. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. I had 4 does come in tonight, and once again, no antlers. I think it's time I bring out my sled instead of bringing this over. A couple logs at a time, but right now it's so close, it's easy. I will see you guys on the next video.